Hey, all right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. Once again, it's another brand new episode of Eddie G's Comic Culture. I am your host, the one and only Eddie G, bringing it to you live and direct as I usually do. Starting off this show, if you're just tuning in right now, I usually start off every one of my episodes with my shoutouts. Starting off with the first and foremost, the good folks over at Black Apparel, Kevin C. Wright. Thanking him once again, the good friend and brother of mine, for all the work that he's put into the show has been literally phenomenal. Definitely tipping my hat off for them. So if you guys make sure if you have the free time to do so, make sure you check out their website at www.blackapparelblk.com. If you have some extra ducats in your pocket, if you want to spend it on some gear or any artwork that you possibly may like on there, they got some awesome content for you guys to check out. So make sure you do. Also, to my good friends over on Instagram, first and foremost, the Strictly Comedy Vault. Brandon, he's a good kid, also a young and up and coming writer. He always keeps his page pretty refreshed with some new content as well. Awesome work that he's done with the Funko figures, also with some photographs. Make sure you keep an eye open for him. Another one who's another great inspiration as to why I've been doing these videos, Blu-ray Dan, and so congratulations to the body transformation that he's done as of recent, man. Great work, opportunity. You're definitely a role model in a lot of ways. He's also got a fantastic YouTube channel as well. Make sure you check it out, where he does a lot of unboxings and reviews for Blu-rays and 4K, Ultra 4K Blu-rays as well. I know that's the new thing now, for movies, both old and new. So definitely keep an eye open for that. And last but definitely not least, a good friend, Dennis Knight, out in New York, who's a writer on the Pronto Comics publisher label. He's got that issue Cross Comics. He's got his issue Cross, excuse me. Make sure you guys pick it up. It's got some great stuff also, man. So before I go into any deeper, I know I've been doing a lot of these I know I've been doing this recently a lot in some of my videos, apologizing to you guys for not being so consistent. I do I have my reasons as of recent because of my job. I started working now, so I have my employment schedule could be a little dicey. So I'm trying to balance out a lot of things. It's gonna be a little rough, but I'm gonna make it work, and definitely keep you guys posted, up to date with all the stuff that's happening. So with that being said, I do apologize. I'm sorry for stepping out. I'm gonna try to keep myself as much refreshed as possible with these episodes, so you guys can definitely enjoy. So starting off, I want to get into the topic number one: Justice League. Yep, I know I didn't get to see Thor Ragnarok. I haven't seen. I'm definitely gonna see it. So don't trip over yourselves, guys. I'm definitely gonna see it. I plan on seeing it the weekend coming up. Uh, you just have to forgive me. I really am not a big Thor fan as of recent. Over the last 15, 20 years, I haven't really been up on his stuff like that. So I can't really say. And then on top of that, the first two films kind of didn't really rub off on me well enough. So, but then again, look at then again, I went ahead and I saw Justice League. No, let me stop. No, but in all honesty, guys, I really do apologize. I just went ahead, I saw Justice League instead of Ragnarok first. I know I wanted to make it a point official to see Ragnarok both last weekend and the opening weekend, but I couldn't get around to it. So, I ended up I definitely, I wasn't going to change my plans to see Justice League, despite my low expectations for the film, despite what I was actually really in for. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I know a lot of right now it's getting shredded by the critics. It's really underperformed at the domestic box office this opening weekend. So far it's only been 96 million, which is pretty low, actually embarrassingly low regarding the content, the product that's being pushed out there. But I saw it last night. I went with my wife, and we had a pretty good time. We really did. In all honesty, we enjoyed ourselves. We felt the movie was actually really great. Um, I mean, it's not a 5-star picture. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it in terms of that. I'm discussing in terms of having a good time at the cinema. This movie was definitely, was the bee's knees, as far as I was concerned, as far as we were concerned, actually. Um, it's a pretty great film. It breaks off. It starts off with the premise, of course, at the with the ending of Dawn of Justice, Superman's loss, and how apparently his disappearance, his death has shaken the world, and crime has gone up, and on top of that, there's a new threat on the horizon with the mother boxes arriving on Earth, which all point to Steppenwolf, basically. And it kind of, you know, it was a pretty short movie. Let's get that out of the way. That's number one. Pacing was a little bit of a problem because of the time frame that they had, honestly. So I had to say that I'm not too great regarding the pacing of the film. That's one of my issues, honestly. But as far as, like, as a whole, as far as a piece for you to actually enjoy, it was actually a pretty good time. I had a good time at the movies. Now, the story, in all honesty, is still the critics are right on that note. I have to give them the props that the story is heavily flawed. Excuse me, flawed. So as to the point as to what they're trying to do, how they meet up, and it really is but the one thing that really makes this story shine, what makes this movie really stand out, is, realistically speaking, the characters, the interaction that they have between one another. I was pleasantly surprised at that. I was really surprised at how they actually all communicated with one another, how well it flowed and worked. The character development was pretty much there, so to speak. Everyone had their time to shine on camera, which was pretty good. Which everyone got sufficient camera time to introduce themselves and who they were. But as I said before, the movie does follow, like, I'm gonna my review pretty much echoes another one that I saw on comicbookmovie.com. It's going in the right direction of Wonder Woman. It definitely wobbles along the way. It's not it's not it's not as bad as people are saying it is, and that's what I think really and that's what I think a lot of the people are missing at this point. It's still a great time at the movies. It's just, luckily it's still Zack Snyder's final directorial entry into the DC cinematic universe, and thankfully so, because it was just that time to hang it up. But it really just, as far as the film is concerned, you could see, like, they were doing two different movies. I didn't get. I would like to say that at some point I was kind of watching two different movies, but I wasn't at the same time. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to explain that feeling. When I was at the cinema watching it, But the theater was well, the theater well received the movie. Everyone clapped at the end of the feature, so it was pretty good. And it definitely points to a real hopeful and bright direction for the future. Now, a lot of stuff that's been recently happening at DC and Warner Brothers Studios has pretty much been shifting a lot of the changes that needed to be addressed within the past, within the previous three entries regarding Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice, and Suicide Squad. Wonder Woman pretty much was the movie that retconned that. So after seeing a movie like Wonder Woman and then seeing Justice League, it definitely is a step back. But it's even though it takes one step back, it's taking another step forward. But it's backing up and going into the right direction. Yeah, it just realized it just went the wrong way, which is pretty cool. So you get to see that. So I'm actually pretty hopeful. However, like I said before, it was a cool, the story was just pretty much heavily flawed. It was treated like a big budget popcorn flick, which I was kind of hoping that it really wasn't. I was hoping it was going to be taken a lot more serious than that. And in some takes, you could actually see that they were taking it as serious. So I can't harp them for that. But at the end of the day, like, it was just a pretty, it's it's a good time. It's definitely a good time. You know. But then again, like I said, that's because I went in there with the very lowest of expectations, guys. So don't get me wrong. It wasn't like I didn't go there with like I wasn't going there questioning what the hell I was about to watch, because I knew, like, don't get my hopes up for something as amazing as, was, done previously from other films or so on and so forth. I don't want to mention the other names, of course, because then again, I don't want these, nobody attacking me for whatever. Even though DC is my own personal preference, and a lot of others as well. And that's one of the main things about this is that even though, like, I'm glad that they took the step into the right direction for this movie. The tonal shift that needed to be taken was there, but the fans who previously enjoyed the other entries prior to Justice League, prior to Wonder Woman, seem to hold some sort of defense mechanism over these movies, which is a little bit of an insane approach, because they really kind of, it really kind of just takes it's just a bunch of BS, man. Like, it really just it puts into perspective how vile, or empty certain people can be, certain people's lives. Maybe when it comes down to attacking you for their own personal, for you not liking something, in particularly in particular that they're fond of. So it is what it is. But I will say that I had a blast, man. Despite the heavy flaws of the feature and the story, in the story of the movie, I had a great time. And so, with that being said, the way it ended, the way it finished, and the tone that that it was lighting off, I'm very hopeful now for the future. Now just let's get the right filmmakers involved and the right teams involved, and now you're really cooking with gas, which is exactly what Warner Brothers needs to do at this point. They kind of hit it out the now and they're gonna take a hit in the pockets for this, because obviously in the domestic box office, the Justice League just wasn't really holding up. I mean, the fact that the Justice League not breaking 100 million on its opening weekend is a complete disgrace. I'm not gonna slam Zack Snyder anymore. I'm not gonna slam Warner Brothers anymore as much as I really, really want to, but because it's so exhausting. And plus, I want this just to be a good show about conversations and stuff like that, of that nature regarding the forum that I'm creating here. So, but all in all, like, I'm very hopeful to see what's gonna happen, and particularly, so I can't wait for Aquaman. It sucks that we have to wait until December of next year, but it's I'd rather they take their time. And considering they got such a great director in James Wan taking the project, on headward, like I'm really looking forward to it. Like that's one of the next main features. Now let's hopefully see something regarding Man of Steel 2, sans Snyder, of course, and also David Goyer. It's time to cut him loose as well. He's another one. He's another part of the problem. Well, I don't think he should be in the puzzle anymore. But getting the right teams involved, and this could have been the epic saga that it needed to be. Now they're just gonna have to create a sequel to a film that was supposed to be epic, but now is mediocre. So with that being said, it wasn't a bad film, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I had my good laughs. I had a good time, but it also had its flaws. So with that being said, if you guys are definitely interested in checking it out, tell me what you felt about it. Tell me if you saw it this week, and let me know what you felt about. What did you feel about the movie? What did you feel about my reviews? Do you agree, disagree? If anything, hit the comment section. I'm always checking them out to see what's going on, so we can get a conversation going. But once again, thank you guys for the love and the appreciation. I'm back once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care of yourselves. All right.